We all know Dana White as the king of the UFC, cool, calculated, and always in control. But what happens when the biggest boss in MMA loses his cool?
The reason he's not in the UFC anymore is because he could not pass a drug test. The guy couldn't pass a drug test.
From outrageous knockouts to insane decisions, get ready for the jaw-dropping, heart-pounding moments that left Dana absolutely furious. These are the 15 UFC fights that got Dana White insanely angry. And trust me, you won't believe how far things went. Let's dive in. Dana's hot take: Adesanya vs. Romero clash. Israel Adesanya, known as the Last Stylebender, rose quickly in the UFC, capturing fans' attention with his unique style and precise fighting skills. As the undefeated champion, he was both defending his title and his reputation as an exciting fighter. Facing him at UFC 248 was Yoel Romero, a savage veteran known for his power and Olympic-level wrestling skills. Though in his 40s, Romero's strength made him a dangerous opponent, and this fight was likely his last chance at winning a title. The excitement around the fight grew because Adesanya's flashy, strategic approach was so different from Romero's raw strength and intense energy. Fans and analysts wondered how Adesanya's tactical approach would fare against Romero's explosiveness. The match took place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, amplifying the excitement as fans traveled from around the world to witness it. UFC President Dana White was confident this matchup would be unforgettable. However, as the fight began, it didn't unfold as expected. Instead of the explosive battle fans anticipated, Romero started cautiously, barely moving and refusing to engage. Adesanya, wary of Romero's power, kept his distance, using leg kicks to score points without taking risks. The fight remained uneventful, with both fighters maintaining a slow pace that frustrated the crowd. After 5 rounds, Adesanya won by unanimous decision, keeping his title, but the fight was overshadowed by disappointment.
When I sell fights, I don't beg anybody to watch anything. I was literally begging people to watch this fight. And it was incredible. But I think that, what I was saying is I'm shocked that Romero knew this was his last opportunity at a world championship. I thought he was going to come out like a bat out of hell.
Dana White was visibly frustrated, criticizing Romero for his lack of aggression. White remarked that Romero, in what might have been his last title chance, didn't seize the opportunity. This left Romero's future uncertain, as another shot at the championship seemed unlikely at his age. In terms of disappointing White, the next one did as well. Dana White slams Blachowicz and Ankalaev's dull performances. UFC 282 was set to crown a new light heavyweight champion in a highly anticipated fight between Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev. Both fighters had their own motivations. Blachowicz, a former champion known for his powerful strikes, wanted his title back. Ankalaev, a rising star, sought to make his mark by claiming the championship. This clash was more than just a fight. It was seen as a defining moment for the division, which had been left without a champion after Jiří Procházka vacated the title due to an injury. Fans eagerly awaited the showdown, expecting fireworks from Blachowicz's striking and Ankalaev's technical strategy. UFC President Dana White hoped the fight would bring excitement to the division, which has long been one of the sport's most prestigious. The fight itself, however, didn't fully deliver on the hype. Blachowicz had some success with his striking early on, but as the rounds went on, Ankalaev took control with his grappling. Despite this shift in momentum, the fight lacked explosive moments, leading to a tense but ultimately unsatisfying finish. When it was over, the judges declared it a split draw, leaving the title vacant and the crowd disappointed. White was visibly frustrated with the fight's outcome, calling it terrible and revealing he had lost interest halfway through.
What are you going to do? I think the main event was terrible. What are you going to do?
Did you have anybody winning in the main event? Did you have it?
I don't even know. I started to zone out after like 3 rounds, so.
To resolve the championship dilemma, he quickly arranged for Glover Teixeira and Jamahal Hill to face off for the vacant title at UFC 283. With that announcement, the focus shifted to the next event, as fans and fighters awaited the bout that could finally bring clarity to the light heavyweight division. An even dumber approach was made by the freak of nature itself. UFC welterweight champ Tyron Woodley, new record. In the summer of 2017, the UFC world was buzzing about UFC 214, set for July 29th in Anaheim, California. The highlight of the night was the co-main event, where Tyron Woodley, the UFC welterweight champ known for his power and strategy, would defend his title against Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert Demian Maia. Woodley, who had previously defended his title twice, had a reputation for physical strength and skill. UFC President Dana White respected Woodley's abilities, often calling him a freak of nature with the power to finish fights. fights. But White also valued entertainment and encouraged fighters to deliver exciting performances. When UFC 214 arrived, fans were excited for the Woodley versus Maia matchup. As the fight began, Woodley's strategy was clear. He used his takedown defense to keep Maia, a grappling specialist, from controlling the fight on the ground. Woodley's plan worked. Maia struggled to gain an advantage. However, the fight lacked action and fans grew restless. The fight set a record for the least punches thrown in a 5-round title fight, totaling only 86 strikes. Though Woodley won by unanimous decision, the crowd booed, disappointed by the cautious fight. At the post-fight press conference, White voiced his frustration. Feeling Woodley had missed the chance to make it an exciting finish, he criticized Woodley's approach, even suggesting it might hurt his future popularity.
What did you think watching that fight?
About watching what fight?
The Woodley fight and beating Maia.
What did you think about watching the Woodley fight? That fight was anything but special. I don't even want to relive that fight in my head for another second. I mean, that's how bad the fight was.
This public clash left a mark on the UFC community, illustrating the emotional stakes that come with the sport, just like an abomination that calls itself a match. The Abominable Showdown, Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. UFC 226 was a much-hyped event, especially the co-main fight between heavyweights Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. Fans were thrilled for this face-off between two knockout powerhouses, expecting explosive action. Ngannou, nicknamed the Predator, had quickly gained fame for his raw strength and devastating knockouts, making him a top contender. His opponent, Derek Lewis, known as the Black Beast, had a reputation for powerful hits and an unpredictable style that made him a fan favorite. However, the actual fight turned out to be the opposite of what everyone had anticipated. Both fighters appeared hesitant from the start, with very little action in the octagon. Rather than the fiery brawl fans expected, the fight was cautious and uneventful. Ngannou seemed uncharacteristically reserved, while Lewis, dealing with back pain, couldn't bring his usual energy. By the final bell, the fight had disappointed everyone. Lewis won by unanimous decision, but the lack of action left fans and analysts bewildered. UFC President Dana White expressed his frustration, calling the fight an abomination for its missed potential. Dana went forward saying, "I can tell you that his ego absolutely ran away with him. The minute that happens to you in the fight game, you start to fall apart. I had some personal encounters with him, as did other people in the organization, and this guy's ego was so out of control. Ego is what hurt Francis Ngannou." Similarly, Dana was not happy with the next matchup. Dana White, displeased with Valentina Shevchenko matchup. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, is famous for intense, thrilling matchups, and few fighters embody this more than Valentina Shevchenko. She entered the octagon in Belém, Brazil, to face Priscila Cachoeira, a UFC newcomer and determined underdog. This fight was a key moment for the women's flyweight division, a relatively new addition aimed at promoting more competition and giving female fighters a platform to shine. When fight night arrived, the crowd in Belém buzzed with excitement. From the start, Shevchenko took control, showing her superior skills and overwhelming Cachoeira with her relentless attacks. Cachoeira, despite her grit, struggled against Shevchenko's dominant performance. As the fight wore on, it became clear that Cachoeira was outmatched, and calls grew for the referee, Mario Yamasaki, to stop the fight to protect her from further harm. However, Yamasaki allowed it to continue until the second round, when Shevchenko secured a victory by submission. By then, Cachoeira had taken substantial damage, leading to criticism of the officiating. Dana White, known for being outspoken, was furious about what he saw as a major failure by the referee. After the fight, he went on social media to criticize Yamasaki's performance, calling it disgusting, and saying he hoped Yamasaki would never referee in the UFC again. White's reaction echoed the anger throughout the MMA community, with fans and fighters alike upset about the delayed stoppage.
I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting, and I never want to see him reffing ever again. You're in there to protect her from herself. He makes me sick. That guy has no business reffing fights, and I promise you, you're not going to see him again.
After witnessing this, in the next match, Dana wanted a fair game as well. Dana White demands fairness in GSP versus Hendricks fight. Georges St-Pierre, GSP, the long-standing welterweight champ, faced off against tough challenger Johnny Hendricks. Known for his skill and precision, GSP had defended his title 9 times and was seen as the king of his division. The question on everyone's mind was whether Hendricks could end GSP's reign and claim the title. This fight was more than just a match. It was a defining moment for the UFC, especially for Dana White, the outspoken UFC president. White, who helped turn UFC into a global sensation, saw this bout as a pivotal event event in the sport's history. His presence and commentary leading up to the fight fueled the hype, making it clear that this was a monumental showdown. On November 16, 2013, the fight delivered intense action. Hendricks landed powerful shots and controlled much of the match, but GSP fought back with strength and tactical skill. After 5 hard-fought rounds, the judges awarded GSP a split decision victory, sparking a wave of controversy. Many fans and experts believed Hendricks had done enough to win. Dana White was openly frustrated with the decision, stating, "I want what's fair, and that wasn't fair." White raised his voice as soon as a reporter asked about the decision. "I think the Nevada State Athletic Commission is atrocious. I think the governor needs to step in immediately before these guys destroy this sport like they did boxing," criticizing the Nevada Athletic Commission's judging as unfair. He even urged the governor to address the issue, believing Hendricks deserved the victory. Adding to the drama, GSP announced he'd be stepping away from the sport, prompting White to demand a rematch for fairness. As pissed as he was here, the next was just beyond daft. Dana White upset by Merab Dvalishvili's actions in O'Malley fight. Fans were eager to see Sean O'Malley face Merab Dvalishvili. O'Malley, the reigning bantamweight champion, was known for his flashy moves and knockout power, while Dvalishvili, called The Machine, was famous for his relentless pace and pressure. O'Malley confidently predicted a first-round knockout, but tensions rose as the two exchanged verbal jabs leading up to the fight. When the fight began, Dvalishvili immediately got into a verbal exchange with O'Malley's corner, which prompted a warning from referee Herb Dean. UFC President Dana White, watching closely, was visibly displeased by the lack of professionalism. Inside the octagon, Dvalishvili's constant pressure and takedowns kept O'Malley on the defensive. Though O'Malley tried to land strikes, Dvalishvili dominated with his grappling and relentless pace. In addition to his fighting skills, Dvalishvili's taunts and gestures toward the crowd frustrated Dana White. The UFC president, known for valuing sportsmanship, was upset by Dvalishvili's antics. Despite this, the fight continued, and Dvalishvili was declared the new bantamweight champion by unanimous decision, winning 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47. O'Malley, though emotional, accepted the loss gracefully and later expressed regret for not living up to his bold prediction on social media. At the post-fight press conference, Dana White criticized both fighters for the lack of decorum and O'Malley's poor performance. He said O'Malley looked flat and didn't capitalize on key moments.
I don't disagree with you. He looked flat. He didn't look sharp. He didn't look crisp until the last round. He hurt him with that body shot. He knew he hurt him with the body shot, and he kept going in.
UFC 306 ended as a night full of drama and emotions, with Dvalishvili earning the title but drawing criticism for his actions. O'Malley, though defeated, showed humility, promising to come back stronger. The event highlighted the delicate balance between showmanship and sportsmanship in the sport of MMA. Same way he was disappointed here is just like the next one. White disappointed with Anderson Silva's UFC 112 performance. The excitement surrounding UFC 112 in Abu Dhabi was sky high, especially with Anderson Silva's fight against Demian Maia headlining the event. Silva, the reigning middleweight champion, was known for his incredible skills and precision, earning him the nickname The Spider. Fans eagerly awaited a spectacular display of his abilities and expected a thrilling contest. However, as the fight progressed, Silva's behavior was baffling. Instead of focusing on Maia, he taunted and showboated, frustrating fans who were expecting an exciting match. The crowd's cheers quickly turned into boos as Silva failed to take control and finish the fight. White, watching from the sidelines, was visibly upset. He had always praised Silva's talent, but was now deeply disappointed by his lackluster performance. By the fourth round, White's frustration boiled over, and he left the arena before the fight ended, a rare move for the UFC president.
Believe me, I'll answer the questions of what a disgrace the main event was and what an embarrassment it is. I don't think I've ever been more embarrassed in the 10 years of being in this business. And it's the first time that I've ever walked out on a main event and given the belt to the guy's manager and told him to put it on him.
Dana White disgusted with Clay Guida. On June 22, 2012, UFC on FX4 featured an anticipated main event between Gray Maynard and Clay Guida. Maynard, known for his wrestling and powerful style, was eager to reclaim his spot as a top lightweight contender. Guida, a fan favorite with an unpredictable, fast-paced approach, aimed to prove he belonged among the division's elite. The fight was expected to be an intense battle, with Maynard's strength clashing against Guida's speed. However, Guida surprised everyone by avoiding prolonged exchanges and using constant movement to evade evade Maynard's attacks. This tactic, rather than leading to an exciting showdown, turned the fight into a frustrating spectacle. Fans and UFC President Dana White grew visibly frustrated as the action slowed down, with Maynard struggling to land important strikes. White, known for his outspoken views, expressed his disappointment after the fight, saying, "The fight sucked. I don't know how to expand on it anymore. I don't think that was a split decision at all. I think Gray Maynard won that fight easily. Nobody can win or lose a fight when the guy is running around in circles. He was literally running. I had some guys who are fans on Twitter saying, great footwork. This isn't Dancing with the Stars. You can't win a fight by running around in circles. That's not how fights are won." Guida's reputation took a hit as fans criticized his unorthodox tactics, which led to backlash against his once thrilling fighting style. The fight, while important for both careers, highlighted the challenge of balancing strategy with fan expectations, leaving a mark on UFC history for all the wrong reasons like that of Curtis Blaydes. Dana White pissed off by Curtis Blaydes. Leading up to the Blaydes vs. Volkov fight, fans were buzzing with excitement, especially after Curtis Blaydes boldly declared he would ragdoll Alexander Volkov. Blaydes, known for his wrestling skills, was determined to prove himself as a top contender in the UFC's heavyweight division. UFC President Dana White was keen to see if Blaydes could back up his confident talk with an impressive performance. Blaydes entered the fight on a 4-match win streak, with a reputation for dominating opponents using his wrestling. He also voiced frustration about the UFC's pay structure, adding more intrigue to the showdown. On the other hand, Volkov, a strong striker with a reach advantage, was eager to climb the ranks and make a statement himself. As the fight began, Blaydes took control, repeatedly taking Volkov down and dictating the pace. However, his cardio started to fade by the 3rd round, and Volkov began to fight back. Despite this, Blaydes secured a unanimous decision victory, with the judges scoring the fight 49-46, 48-47, and 48-46 in his favor. Dana White, unimpressed with Blaydes' performance, expressed disappointment in the post-fight press conference.
Tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he won. He talked a lot of shit coming in this week. I don't think you talk the shit that he talked this week and come in and perform like that.
He felt that Blaydes' pre-fight trash talk was not backed up by his actions in the octagon. Blaydes, while happy with the win, acknowledged the criticism and expressed frustration with the pressure to fight top contenders. His future in the UFC now seemed uncertain, with questions about his readiness to face the elite of the division. Moving along, well, the next is just too embarrassing, it left me speechless. Dana White, embarrassed by Dennis Hallman. As UFC 133 approached, excitement was building for the event in Philadelphia, featuring thrilling matchups. Among the fighters was Dennis "Superman" Hallman, a seasoned MMA veteran known for his grappling skills. Hallman had gained fame early in his career by upsetting Matt Hughes twice, but his journey had also been marked by injuries and setbacks. As UFC 133 neared, Hallman was set to face Brian Ebersole, hoping to prove himself once again. However, Hallman made an unexpected decision. He entered the octagon wearing a blue Speedo, a result of a lost bet with a teammate. This unusual choice quickly became the focus of attention, overshadowing his performance. Fans were shocked and amused, but Hallman remained unfazed, seeing it as a light-hearted gesture. The fight itself saw Hallman showcasing his grappling, but eventually losing to Ebersole by TKO in the 1st round. Despite the action, it was Hallman's attire that dominated the conversation. UFC President Dana White was furious, expressing embarrassment over the situation. He even awarded Ebersole a bonus, jokingly dubbed the "getting those horrifying shorts off TV as soon as possible" bonus. The controversy quickly went viral, with fans and media discussing the incident. Hallman explained the Speedo as a fun bet, but the backlash was intense. Although Hallman faced criticism, he remained optimistic about his UFC career, while White made it clear that professionalism was crucial in the sport. Ultimately, UFC 133 became famous not for the fights, but for Hallman's infamous outfit. Dana also got pretty mad that he did what shocked the news. Dana White banned Paul Daly. UFC 113 in Montreal was set for an intense night of action, with the highly anticipated welterweight fight between Paul Daly and Josh Koscheck. Both were known for their strong skills and competitive nature, but their personal issues added even more excitement to the match. Leading up to the fight, the two engaged in a war of words, trash-talking, and trying to get under each other's skin. Daly, known for his knockout power, was eager to prove himself against Koscheck, a skilled wrestler who was known for getting into his opponent's heads. As the fight night approached, continued. The tension was high, with fans excited to see what would happen in the octagon. The atmosphere was electric, and both fighters looked ready for battle. The build-up to UFC 113 was filled with drama, promising a fierce showdown fueled by pride and ego. In the fight, Koscheck used his wrestling skills to control Daly and won the match. However, things took a shocking turn when, after the bell, Daly punches Koscheck in frustration, catching him off guard. The crowd reacted in disbelief as chaos broke out. UFC President Dana White was furious and immediately banned Daly for life, stating that unsportsmanlike behavior wouldn't be tolerated.
Have you follow up on that incident?
He's done. I don't give a shit if he's the best 170-pounder in the world. He'll never come back here again.
We're talking Paul Daly.
Yeah.
You're cutting him from the UFC.
Yeah. He'll never come back.
This takes us to how Dana displayed raw emotions for a friend. Dana on Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. The rivalry between Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz is one of the most iconic in UFC history. It started in the early 2000s when Liddell, known as the Iceman, was a knockout artist, and Ortiz, the Huntington Beach bad boy, was a dominant wrestler. Their first fight in 2004 saw Liddell win with a second-round knockout, and in their rematch in 2006, Liddell won again with a third-round knockout. Despite Liddell's clear victories, their rivalry only intensified over the years, drawing fans and attention to the sport. Liddell retired in 2010, but shocked the world by announcing his return in 2018 for a third fight with Ortiz. The event was highly anticipated, but raised concerns about Liddell's fitness. At 48, Liddell faced Ortiz, who was 43, in a bout that quickly showed Liddell's decline. Ortiz knocked Liddell out in the first round, and the fight lasted only 4 minutes. While Ortiz celebrated his victory, Liddell's condition raised serious questions about fighter safety. UFC President Dana White, a close friend of Liddell, was furious. He criticized the promoters and the California Athletic Commission for allowing the fight, believing they exploited Liddell for financial gain.
I've been friends with Chuck Liddell, for 20 years. And the reality is that Chuck Liddell retired when he should have retired. 8-9 years ago, however long it was. And Chuck Liddell's almost 50 years old and has no business fighting anymore.
White was also furious at the next champ. White furious at former UFC champ Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's shocking attack on a UFC fighter bus remains one of the sport's most unforgettable incidents in the history of MMA. It all started in early April 2018 during the lead-up to UFC 223 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where fans and fighters eagerly awaited the weekend's matchups. But tensions were brewing between McGregor and his longtime rival, Khabib Nurmagomedov. The fight had been simmering for months, with trash talk and confrontations. Things came to a head when Nurmagomedov's team clashed with McGregor's friend and teammate, Artem Lobov. This set the stage for McGregor's infamous outburst. Determined to confront Nurmagomedov, McGregor and his entourage stormed through the arena, eventually locating a bus carrying fighters, including Khabib. In a fit of anger, McGregor threw a metal dolly at the bus, shattering a window and injuring fighters inside, including Michael Chiesa, who sustained facial cuts and had to withdraw from his fight. UFC President Dana White was outraged, describing McGregor's actions as criminal and disgusting, and the incident quickly became a global headline.
But what happened today was criminal, disgusting, despicable, makes me sick, and we as an organization need to make sure that this never happens again.
McGregor was issued an arrest warrant, sparking a media storm that threw the UFC into one of its biggest PR crises. Lawsuits followed, and the UFC was forced to rethink its partnership with its star fighter. Performance-wise, the next take is going to leave you disappointed. Jon Jones, the disappointed one. The lead-up to UFC 200 was supposed to be a historic moment for mixed martial arts, with Jon Jones facing off against his rival, Daniel Cormier. But instead of a smooth build-up, the journey was full of chaos and controversy, mostly due to Jones's personal troubles. Known for his skill in the octagon, Jones's career has also been plagued by incidents outside of it, causing constant frustration for UFC President Dana White. This rocky relationship began in 2015, when Jones lost his UFC light heavyweight title after a hit-and-run incident incident in Albuquerque, which not only brought legal issues but also got him suspended. Despite these problems, Jones made a comeback in April 2016, winning the interim light heavyweight title by defeating Ovince St. Preux at UFC 197. This win set up an eagerly awaited rematch with Cormier at UFC 200, expected to be the event's main attraction. But just days before the fight, Jones failed a drug test, and White, visibly upset, had to replace him with Anderson Silva on short notice. This change disrupted the event and highlighted the recurring problems Jones brought to the organization.
I heard you and Jeff Nowitzki say, and Andy Foster said it as well, that you are 100% sure that this isn't as a result of a new ingestion. This is the same metabolite that was in his system back in July of 2017. The question I don't seem to find the answer to is, how do you know that?
Because that's what the experts are saying. The experts are telling us that's what they do. How else would I know?
Dana White expressed disappointment, remarking on Jones's repeated troubles despite the support the UFC had provided. His actions consistently undermined the UFC's efforts to put on successful events. After UFC 200, Jones was suspended for a year by the United States anti-doping agency, USADA, and stripped of his interim title, marking yet another setback in his career. White began questioning if Jones could ever be trusted to headline another major event. Did you enjoy this video? Click on any of the cards on your screen right now for similar content. Thank you.